Hey everybody, welcome. We're going to do a shop tour today, and you're probably asking yourself, why is this guy giving me a tour of his shop? Well, I mean, it's my first shop. It's a 1.5 car garage, and I'm going to be leaving it soon, so I'm just going to give a tour, maybe for future if people care, see where I started, or also for myself, so I can always look back and, see what I had at one point. Because the plan is to obviously get bigger and grow, because if I am, limited on space, everybody's limited on space. But this is where I started. It's a 17-foot wide and actual working area, about 17 foot deep, because we got some other stuff in here. All right, so we're going to start the tour over here in my forging area, and as you can see, it's a relatively small space. Everything can be accessed within a step, and that's how it should be, and that's how I like it. The only reason I have to move is so I'm out of the heat blast from the forge, and I take a step over here. Then I'm at the anvil, and then I got my post vise right here. I got the post vise from Cypressville Forge. He's local to me. He's only on Instagram, but follow him. He's a good guy. He hooked me up with this vise, and had to do a little bit of work to it. It was just a vise. There was no spring, but I had a leaf spring lying around, so got that fabricated up with the stand. And so this is my forging area. My fire brick forge, still the original bricks. They're all cracked, and you can look in there and see how everything's kind of deteriorating. But I mean, it is what it is. Refractories don't last forever, and that's something you can expect when you start forging. That's just an expense that comes along with it. So on my forge cart, which is a Harbor Freight 36 by 24 cart, I think. It's their larger rolling tool cart, and it's got a 400-pound capacity, which should be enough. The forge is fairly heavy, probably about 70 pounds. I have 3 layers of fire brick as well, and a cast iron base. It has some weight, plus all the other stuff I keep on here. Like anything, it accumulates. So we've got, piece of purple heart that's going to be a hammer handle for hammer over there. Not one I made, just a replacement. Extra steel, stock for working with. Some square bar. Actually, this should be up here with the rest of them, all the larger stuff. So as far as stock goes, at least for good forging stock, I've got some new 1/2-inch mild, some 1045 hex that's used, but that's been hydro-spec'd or, sent off to a testing place, and yeah, it's 1045-ish, within a few points. And then brand new 1045 round bar and leaf spring. Not sure what it is. Hardens in water. It's off like a 51 mercury, so I don't know. It works. And then all the electricity I ran. I like having my phone gets on the charger when I'm out here. My 220 plug, all my outlets and stuff, all along this side only. I didn't want to run stuff all over the place because this is just a rental. Then over here, my belt grinder. This is an old Craftsman. It's a 1 horsepower 2x42, which I don't know when they stopped making them, but it's good. I got a deal on it. It came on a workbench I bought for like $50. So, I mean, it was sitting outside. The guy used it outside, but he only ever used it for aluminum. So it was fairly clean. Still works great. And then I think that's I forgot what brand of vise that is. I don't know. Estate sale, $15. If you're looking for vices, especially, estate sales are a great place. So now we'll work our way more towards this side of the shop. And so the forging area is over there. Normally the door's open when I'm in here, but it's supposed to rain and it's busy. I mean, we got a lot of traffic, so the door's closed. Sounds better, hopefully. So let's actually move over to this wall. Kid's bike stays in here. People steal it around where I'm at, unfortunately, so it can't go outside, and I don't want it in the backyard where the dogs can chew it up, so it's fine. Bike stays in here, no big deal. If I'm out here, I can just move it out if it's in the way. All this stuff, this whole stack, as well as another cart that's in here, not mine, storing it for somebody. Then we move over here to my, I guess, metalworking storage wall, sort of. PPE over here, Normally my respirator's up there too, but it's on the bench because I was doing some grinding. And grinding discs of all shapes and sizes, flat discs, hard rock, cut-off wheels. The specialty vice grips right there, sheet metal, and the box tubing ones. Don't ever really use them. And my welders on their carts right down here. TIG welder, MIG welder, plasma cutter. Plasma cutter is not mine, but it works great. My buddy leaves it here. And then the MIG welder, that is mine. That's the Harbor Freight Special, the Titanium 170. Works great. I like it better than my buddy's Lincoln, 140. For the same price, I would go with this all day. And then TIG welder, AHP, works great also. But yeah, they just sit right here on the cart. Down in the bottom of here, I keep all my welding rods, extra wire, all sorts of good stuff. Rods, wire, manuals. Down here, that's my TIG bucket. It's got all my TIG torch supplies in it, and the foot pedal goes down there. And I don't really like the carts. I think I'm going to go to one of those like toolbox designs that I see a lot of people do, because another thing I don't like is where I ran my 220 plug over there. Most of my welding gets done right here on the welding table, the little fixture table. This is from Northern Tool. It's the Clutch brand. That's their brand. This is great for $200. You're going to be real hard pressed to beat anything else for a welding table for that price. That's the full getup with like 4 of these clamps and some other specialty fittings and fixtures. Absolutely great setup for it. Comes out to like $160 with coupons. So then over here in the red box, it's all my chemicals and whatnot. Keep them in a spark-proof, spark-resistant container. We got nail gun nails in the ammo cans. Grinding rail, made as a project, just trying to sell. My buddy said they sell pretty good, so I'm giving it a shot. Project I'm working on, went over the vise earlier. There's my sub panel. I just have my for my 220. Oh, like I was saying about the 220, I don't like that it's all the way over here. I put it there. That's my own fault. I could have moved it anywhere else. But I think I'm going to put all of them on basically a tool cabinet and roll the tool cabinet around and put plugs on the back, plug them all into the plugs, and then run an extension cord so I can have it pretty much anywhere in the shop. And that seems like the best solution for me. And here, Cobalt Quiet Tech. I think it's a 26-gallon air compressor. Not the best by any means, but I needed quiet when I bought it because the house is right there. And, we got kids and not trying to wake up the whole neighborhood. Right above that, Harbor Freight air reel works great. It'll leak a little bit at the fittings. Well, when I got it, it was leaking at the fittings. I bought it used, so, used stuff leaks. It was just a fitting. The hose is fine. Then we come over here. It's the home gym area. It's I forgot what brand rack. They're all the same. So, rack, one of the folding ones. I could fold it up if I needed to. Never had a need to. But good weight rack, good setup, especially for home gym, especially because nothing else is open. This is actually my newest addition. I got a nice wall-mounted first aid kit. Nothing too crazy in it, just normal first aid stuff, but nice to have. And then I've got my nitrile gloves up above that. Then working our way over to this corner, I've just got storage over here. Got my folding DeWalt table in the corner, my dolly, some extra lumber. I don't do woodworking, but I work in construction. So this isn't like a fine woodworking kind of place. This is construction material, lumber, stuff like that. Oxygen cylinder. I know people are going to give me shit for not having the cap on, but it is empty, completely empty, and it needs to be hydroed before it can be refilled. It's like last hydroed in the 70s. But I got it for free from a buddy of mine, and I used it till it was empty, and now I got to go get it hydroed to get it refilled. Then ladder storage, screen printing press, backpacking bags. This is all house stuff over here. The motorcycle is going, it's leaving. I don't ride motorcycles anymore, and so it just is a waste of space. It actually normally doesn't live in here. It's just getting cleaned up to be sold. Then this is the other half, like I said, holding tools for somebody. None of this stuff's mine. Don't ask me about it. I don't know. I'm not a mechanic. So then let's move over here. Coffee maker, 3.5 inch Craftsman bench vise, oil and filter for the motorcycle, 1 ton arbor press, bench grinder that is pretty much exclusively for tungsten. Don't use it for anything else. The buffer wheel that's on there has probably been on there for 30 years. Never touch it. Delta drill press. This is a nice drill press, especially because I didn't pay a dime for it. It just needs a new motor. The motor that's on there is burnt out. I went through like 3 motors I found at yard sales, and they were all burnt out too, so I just got to bite the bullet and buy a new one. And then down below, we've got pressure washer, weed treatment, copper in the back for casting. I keep the copper in the back because I got quite a bit of it, but I don't like it up tight towards the front of the garage door because we're on a sort of busy street, and I don't like people seeing copper because they instantly assume it's worth money. And then shop speaker for working out. Everybody likes to listen to music. And then down here, we've got table saw. That's the old Sears special, typical Craftsman 3 peak horsepower, like a 1 horsepower motor. They say 3 because like when it turns on, it draws 3. I don't know, but you can find it for like $100 all day long. Great table saw. Then down here is all my corded power tools. So there's a skill saw, 2 jigsaws, the Makita sander, and a router down there. Like I said, I don't do a lot of woodwork, so that stuff just kind of lives down there semi-permanently. And then in this tote right here is the podcasting equipment. That's for me and my buddy's podcast, Blood Not Boiled. It is completely unrelated to making or work of any kind. It's just me and my buddy doing deep dives on historical topics we like. And if that sounds interesting, go ahead and check it out. We're on most podcast platforms. We're Blood Not Boiled. And escaping the plug, now we have my wall of pegboard, which I'm not a fan of pegboard, but it was in here when I moved in, so take advantage of it, I guess. I already had all the pegs anyways, so I guess it works out because I don't really have a lot of tool storage, and it saved me from buying a big cabinet for the meantime, so that worked out great. And here we have my Evolution, I think it's the Rage 2. I use it for cutting metal, and this one, it can cut metal, but this is more of a woodworking miter saw that can cut through metal. It's not really designed for metal, and I'm going to do a full review on this saw, and you'll find out why. And then this is my first drill press. This is a Skill. This Skill drill press, along with my first welder, that little orange machine right there, they're going to my stepdad and little brother so they can learn how to weld. And my stepdad knows how to weld, but so him and my little brother can learn how to weld and do some little fabrication projects. So that'll be good. It's always nice I like to give, stuff that's not worth too much money is not really worth my hassle to sell it. I like to give it to people who can use it. It, makes you feel good. And over here we've got, some metal signs. I bought these metal signs when I was like 18 years old and been carrying them around with me ever since. So, and we got 12-volt power tools. Don't ever really use those. The one I do is this one right here. Those oscillating tools are awesome for cutting small holes in drywall or doing like molding trim. Those things are awesome. And then, I think I said earlier, project I'm working on. And then I keep some scrap, really small scrap wood in here. It's all walnut, a little bit of red oak, and Purple Heart. Purple Heart's not scrap yet. It's just I have nowhere else to put it. And then this is the tool cabinet I have in the meantime. Top's a cluttered mess. It's not super cluttered. It's mostly bags of stuff and boxes of stuff. I'm not like I dig for anything too much in here. But like I said, the forge used to be on here, and it really messed with these drawers, and they're pretty much impossible to open one-handed except for the bottom. And I just keep my larger wrench set down here, a big pry bar screwdriver, and there's a extra 3/4 inch ratchet. And then on the bottom, Husky ratcheting wrench set. Not ratcheting wrench, just socket set. Ratchet socket set. Some more box wrenches are in that bucket down there. This is the hammer and dolly set from Harbor Freight. And then I've got a tap and die set down here. And then the welding table, kind of right in the middle. I tend to move it around wherever is most convenient for me. Like if I'm doing something longer, I had to move it over here so I can lay it across that way without getting in the way of anything. It's just here, it's out of the way and convenient. And then I just tuck the chair in underneath. And with the exception of the motorcycle, this is pretty much the condition of the shop most of the time. Just move stuff around as I need it. But one thing I don't like, I don't think I talked about this earlier, my clean, pickup stuff is right here. And that's because I don't really have anywhere better to store it. That's just storage for the house. I put some of my stuff on there. But magnetic floor sweeper, like not really a push broom, that's more like a floor scraper. It's got a really like aggressive bristle on it. And just normal broom, but there's nowhere else for me to put them because I have my giant workbench. And well, I guess normally they would be right up front there, but that stuff's, storing stuff, so help people out. Not the end of the world. So this is what I work with. And hey, you know what? Do your own shop tour. I like looking at shop videos. I like seeing other people's setups. So let me see what you got. Thanks for watching, everybody.